Hello everyone, this is Meenakshi Dilip Birari, working as a assistant professor in chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. We know that ammonia, sulfuric acid and nitric acid are some basic chemicals which are produced by chemical industry, and these chemicals are used directly or indirectly as a fertilizers or as a intermediates for the preparation of other chemicals. So, in previous lecture, we have studied the manufacture of ammonia by modified Bosch-Haber process. In today's lecture, we are going to study the manufacture of sulfuric acid by contact process. So, let us see in detail the manufacture of sulfuric acid by contact process. Sulfuric acid is one of the most important chemicals produced by chemical industry. Sulfuric acid is very important bulk chemical. It is supposed to be a backbone of chemical industry because of its wide use in carrying out unit processes of both organic and inorganic type. Sulfuric acid is directly concerned with industrialization. Many industries require sulfuric acid as one of the raw materials which cannot be substituted by any other substance. For example, it is used in the manufacture of fertilizers, dyes, refining of petroleum, industrial explosives, textiles, etc. Progress of the country can be judged from the amount of sulfuric acid it consumes and manufactures. Sulfuric acid is also known as king of compounds, oil of vitriol, dipping acid, battery acid, electrolyte acid, Maitling acid, dihydrogen sulfide. So these are few names of sulfuric acid. There are three industrial processes for the manufacturing of sulfuric acid, which are contact process, lead chamber process and wet sulfuric acid process. Among these two processes are mostly used for the manufacturing of sulfuric acid, that is contact process and lead chamber process. In today's lecture, we are going to study the manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process. In the manufacture of sulfuric acid, there are various steps involved. First one, that is formation of SO2. Second step, purification of SO2. Step third, oxidation of SO2 to SO3. And step fourth, formation of H2SO4. Out of these steps, conversion of sulfur or pyrites to SO2 and conversion of SO3 to H2SO4 are relatively easy steps. However, the conversion of SO2 to SO3 is difficult step and hence it is most important in the manufacture of sulfuric acid. So here the stage 1, that is conversion of sulfur or pyrites to SO2, and stage 2, that is conversion of SO2 to SO3. So this one, the conversion of S to SO2 is very easy step, and the conversion of SO2 to SO3, it is difficult step and hence it is most important in the manufacture of sulfuric acid. Stage 3rd, that is conversion of SO3 to H2SO4, which is also a relatively easy step, and the conversion of SO2 to SO3 is difficult step. So this one is the stage 3, conversion of SO3 to H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Let us see manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process. Contact process for the manufacture of sulfuric acid involves following three steps. preparation of SO2 from sulfur or pyrite, conversion of SO2 to SO3 by atmospheric oxygen in presence of platinized asbestos or vanadium pentoxide catalyst, that is V2O5 catalyst. And third one, absorption of SO3 by water to form H2SO4. So these three important steps involved in the manufacture of sulfuric acid by contact process. Let us see in detail. First of all, the raw materials used for the manufacturing of sulfuric acid. The raw material required for contact process is sulfur or metallic sulfide, iron sulfide such as pyrite, FeS2, pyrrhotite, Fe7S8, non-ferrous sulfides such as CuS, PDS, NiS and ZnS may be used, that is nickel sulfide, zinc sulfide, palladium sulfide, like that. Dry air and steam used in the process. So the main basic raw materials used for manufacturing of sulfuric acid are sulfur, water or steam and air. Sulfur having the source, that may be the sulfide ore, metallic sulfide or iron sulfide, non-ferrous sulfides. Dry air and steam are also the raw materials used in the process. Let us study the description of plant and process involved in the manufacture of sulfuric acid. The plant used in the contact process, it consists of 5 main parts, that is sulfur or pyrite burners, purifying unit, testing box, contact converter and absorption unit. So in this figure you can observe sulfur or pyrite burners, then the purifying unit, testing box, also the contact converter and next to that the absorption unit. So that is the figure which shows the various parts involved in the manufacturing of H2SO4. So this one is the plant used in the contact process. So by using this figure also we get the manufacture of sulfuric acid by using various parts. First one, that is burner unit. The main function of this unit is to produce SO2 and it is produced by either burning sulfur or pyrite in air. That means the sulfur reacts with O2, give the formation of SO2. Another function of burner unit is to adjust the percentage of SO2 and oxygen in the gases which are coming from burners. Then the percentage of SO2 and O2 are carefully controlled according to the catalyst which is used for the conversion of SO2 to SO3. So for this the platinum catalyst 10% SO2 is needed, while for vanadium catalyst about 7 to 8% SO2 is needed. Then the purification of gases which are produced in the burner unit is not essential when pure sulfur and pure air are used for the production of SO2. But when SO2 is produced by burning sulfide ore, the burner gases may contain number of impurities. So the removal of these impurities, it is also important. So the removal of impurities will be carried out in purifying unit. That is the second part involved in the manufacturing. So the purifying unit, it consists of dust chamber, scrubber, drying tower, arsenic purifier. So to remove the impurities, the burner gases are first passed through a dust chamber in which Steam jets are introduced from the top. As upgoing gases meet the downcoming jet of steam, water droplet is formed around each dust particle, which becomes heavy and settle down readily. The very fine dust particles are made so settle with the help of controlled electrical precipitator. Then the gases are passed through the cooling lead pipes to reduce their temperature down to about 100 degrees Celsius and then taken into water scrubber where these are washed by downcoming spray of water. This treatment serves to remove the sulfuric acid fog as well as soluble gaseous dust particles, etc. The gases are then dried by passing through the drying tower packed with pieces of quartz. The concentrated sulfuric acid flows down from the top and absorbs the moisture present in the gas. Then the gases are passed through the arsenic purifier, which contains shells on which basins containing ferric hydroxide are placed, which absorbs the arsenic compounds. The gases are then passed through a filter containing a layer of asbestos fiber, which removes the last traces of dust and mist. Finally, the gases are passed through a testing box, or also known as a Tyndall box, to confirm that the gases are free from dust and As2O3. In testing box, a strong beam of light is thrown against the flow of gases, and if any particle is present, it is detected due to Tyndall effect. Then only gases which are free from impurities are allowed to go to the contact converter. So by passing the burner gases through purifying unit, the impurities can be removed and only the gases which are free from impurities are allowed to go to the contact converter. In this unit, sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfur trioxide, that is SO2 is converted to SO3. Contact converter, it consists of iron tower with iron pipes holding the catalyst. So this figure, it shows the typical contact converter. The catalyst may be either platinized asbestos or vanadium pentoxide, that is V2O5. But the V2O5 is preferred because of its certain advantages over platinum catalyst. In contact converter, nearly all SO2 is converted into SO3. The resulting SO3 is then cooled using a heat exchanger and then passed into absorption tower. The absorption unit of the contact plant consists of two absorption towers packed with acid resisting tones. The gases leaving the converter are passed through one after another. In the first tower, spray of 100% sulfuric acid is made to absorb a part of SO3, forming about 20% oleum, which is diluted to get 98% of sulfuric acid. This 98% sulfuric acid is spread on the top of the second absorber. Here, the rate of absorption of SO3 is so adjusted that 100% of H2SO4 is obtained. More absorption towers can be used if required in this. So, like that, the contact process produces highly pure acid of 98 to 100% concentration and various oleums. It requires no further purification and can be easily diluted to any desired concentration. So it is nothing but the whole manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process. First one, that sulfur or pyrite burner, then purifying unit which consists of dust chamber, scrubber, drying tower, arsenic purifier, next to that Tyndall box or testing box, contact converter, and then absorber. So let us see all the steps in detail. First one, sulfur or pyrite burners. Sulfur or iron pyrite is burnt with a good supply of air to produce sulfur dioxide in a furnace called burner. So what are the reactions involved in the first step? Sulfur is burnt with a good supply of air to produce sulfur dioxide. S plus O2 give the formation of SO2. Traces of sulfur trioxide are also formed and give sulfuric acid form fog with water vapor present in air. A regulated supply of air passes over the molten sulfur or pyrites, sweeping the products of combustion gently into next chamber. The percentage of SO2 and O2 in the gas coming from burners is carefully controlled as per the catalyst used in the converter. For example, platinum catalyst, 10% sulfur dioxide is needed, and for vanadium catalyst 7 to 8% sulfur dioxide is needed. So the main function of this unit is to produce SO2, and it is produced by either burning sulfur or pyrite in air, that is S plus O2 give the formation of SO2. Another function of burner unit is to adjust the percentage of SO2 and oxygen in the gases coming from burners. The percentage of SO2 and O2 are carefully controlled according to the catalyst used for the conversion of SO2 to SO3. Platinum catalyst, 10% SO2 is needed, and for vanadium catalyst 7 to 8% SO2 is needed. So this one again, the burning of sulfur, first step, air drying tower with acid. Sulfur is spread into burner from storage, and it is here the reaction is exothermic. Sulfur dioxide burner gas also contains some impurities like CO2, AS, F, N2, Cl2 and dust. Also contain the moisture which can cause corrosion to equipment. So to remove all these impurities, the burner gas is passed through the dust filter chamber, washing tower and then drying tower. We can say to remove the impurities, it is passed through the purifying unit. The second one, that is purifying unit. When pure sulfur and purified air are used for production of sulfur dioxide, the purification is not essential. However, the sources like pyrite contain the impurities like dust, arsenic, moisture, and they need the purification. Generally, the gases coming out of the burners contain impurities like arsenious oxide, water vapor, sulfuric acid fog, and they can be removed by using the following methods. So to remove the impurities, we can use following method. First one, the gases are first passed through dust chamber in which steam jets are introduced from the top and dust particles with water droplets settle down at the bottom of dust chamber. So it is nothing but the dust chamber which is used to remove the impurities from burner gases. The burner gases are first passed through a dust chamber in which steam jets are introduced from the top. As upgoing gases meet the downcoming jet of steam, water droplet is formed around each dust particle which becomes heavy and settles down readily. The very fine dust particles are made to settle with the help of controlled electrical precipitator. So it is nothing but the dust chamber to remove the impurities. Then the second one, that is the water scrubber. The gases are passed through the cooling pipes to cool them to 100 degrees Celsius. They are then passed through the scrubber, in which the washing agent is water, usually water, to remove the acid fog. The gases are then passed through the cooling lead pipe to reduce their temperature, and they are taken into water scrubber, where these are washed by downcoming spray of water. So this one is helpful to remove the sulfuric acid fog as well as soluble gases and dust particles. Then the gases are dried by passing through drying tower packed with pieces of quartz. Concentrated sulfuric acid flows down from the top and absorb the moisture which is present in the gases. So it is nothing but drying towel packed with pieces of quartz. Finally, the gases are passed through the arsenic purifier, where ferric hydroxide removes the arsenic oxide in the gases. So the concentrated sulfuric acid flows down from the top and absorbs the moisture present in the gas. The gases are then passed through the arsenic purifier, which contains shells on which basins contains the ferric hydroxide are placed, which absorb the arsenic compounds. Then the gases are passed through a filter containing a layer of asbestos fiber, which removes the last traces of dust and mist. Finally, gases are passed through a testing box, or also known as a Tyndall box, to confirm that the gases are free from the dust and As2O3 particles. So this is a rectangular box darkened from inside, which is called as a Tyndall box. The gases are laid in the testing box. It is viewed through a hole perpendicular to the path of light. A strong beam of light is thrown against the gases. Solid particles or impurities, if present, make the path of light visible due to scattering of light by them, and this is an application of Tyndall effect. If the gases are still found to contain impurities, they are again passed through the dust chamber, scrubber, drying tower and arsenic purifier, that is through the purifying unit. Then only gases which are free from impurities are passed into the contact converter. In this unit, sulfur dioxide SO2 is converted to sulfur trioxide by atmospheric oxygen in presence of platinized asbestos or vanadium pentoxide as a catalyst at 500 to 600 degrees Celsius. So the reaction involved in the contact converter is twice SO2 plus O2 in presence of 595 degrees Celsius temperature. Catalyst V2O5 converted into twice SO3, that is sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfur trioxide by using the catalyst V2O5 at 500 to 600 degrees Celsius. The contact tower consists of an iron converter with iron pieces packed with the catalyst, that may be platinized asbestos or V2O5. The gases free from dust and As2O3 particles are first passed through a preheater and heated to about 300 degrees Celsius before they are admitted to the contact tower. In this part, the sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfur dioxide. The catalyst may be either platinized asbestos or vanadium pentoxide. V2O5 is preferred because of its certain advantages over platinum catalyst. The purified gases coming out of the Tyndall box are passed through a preheater and heated to about 300 degrees Celsius before they are taken into contact converter. Iron pipes holding the catalyst are also preheated electrically to 450 degrees Celsius to start the reaction. As the gases pass through the catalyst pipes, SO2 is oxidized to SO3. Since this reaction is exothermic, the heat produced raises the temperature of the reacting gases in the catalyst pipes above 450 degrees Celsius. But the exchange of heat takes place between the incoming gases passing upward around the catalyst pipes and reacting gases inside catalyst pipes, thereby raising the temperature of incoming gases and lowering the temperature of reacting gases. So the rate of flow of gases is carefully adjusted that the thermal balance of converter is maintained. The electrical heating of the catalyst pipes is thus not required after the start of the reaction. If sometimes the temperature increases above desired level, a suitable amount of cold gases are directly taken into the converter from the top. So in contact converter, nearly all SO2 is converted into SO3. The resulting SO3 is then cooled using a heat exchanger and then passed into absorption tower. The heat exchanger serves two functions. One, it cools down to hot SO3, and two, it heats the gaseous mixture of SO2 and O2. For this purpose, contact converter is attached with heat exchanger instead of preheater, and the mixture of SO2 and O2 is passed through heat exchanger before it enters converter. So as the gases pass through the catalyst pipes, sulfur dioxide is oxidized to sulfur trioxide and the reaction is exothermic. So the heat produced raises the temperature of gases reaching in the catalyst pipes above 450 degrees Celsius, so that the gases are then cooled by means of heat exchanger and then subsequently pass into second converter at 450 degrees Celsius. So the heat exchanger serves two functions. One, it cools down to hot SO3, and two, it heats the gaseous mixture of SO2 and O2. For this purpose, contact converter is attached with the heat exchanger instead of preheater, and mixture of SO2 and O2 is passed through heat exchanger before it enters the converter. So this shows the heat exchanger which is attached to the converter. Here the rate of conversion is about 97%, but exchange of heat take place between the incoming gases passing upwards around the catalyst pipes. The rate of flow of gases is so adjusted that the temperature of the reacting gases in the pipes is maintained at the desired level. The gases are again cooled by means of heat exchanger and then passed to the absorption unit. Now the next one, that is absorption unit. Sulfur trioxide released from converter cannot be directly absorbed in water because it results in the formation of dense sulfuric acid fog, or also known as mist, due to exothermic reaction. The sulfuric acid fog, consisting of small droplets of sulfuric acid molecules, encloses water molecules as well as sulfur trioxide molecules. These droplets cannot be dissolved in water by any means. This one is the reaction. H2O, that is water, reacts with sulfur trioxide, formation of H2SO4. So to avoid mist formation, the cooled gases from contact converter are passed up the absorption tower where they meet descending stream of concentrated H2SO4, that is about 100% H2SO4. The sulfur trioxide is absorbed by sulfuric acid which is formed. This can be diluted to obtain sulfuric acid of any desired concentration. So the rate of absorption of sulfur trioxide is adjusted to get 100% of acid at bottom. So in the absorption unit, the SO3 coming out from the contact converter cannot be directly absorbed in water as it results in the formation of dense sulfuric acid fog or mist because of the highly exothermic reaction. The fog or mist consists of very small droplets of sulfuric acid molecules enclosing the readily formed steam as well as unreacted water and SO3. This figure it shows the sketch of such a droplet, that means which includes very small droplets of sulfuric acid molecules enclosing the readily formed steam as well as unreacted SO3. The droplet once formed cannot be condensed on cooling or broken down on boiling or any other means or dissolved in water. Thus, in order to avoid the mist formation and hence loss of SO3, it is absorbed in 100% H2SO4. The SO3 is absorbed in 100% H2SO4 to produce oleum or fuming sulfuric acid, that is H2S2O7 on account of the reaction, that is SO3 plus H2SO4 forms H2S2O7, that is fuming sulfuric acid or oleum. This oleum can then be diluted by adding water to obtain sulfuric acid of any desired concentration. That means H2S2O7 react with water to give twice H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. The absorption unit of the contact plant consists of two absorption towers packed with acid resisting stones. The gases leaving the converter are passed through one after another. In the first tower, spray of 100% sulfuric acid is made to absorb a part of SO3, forming about 20% oleum, which is diluted to get 90% sulfuric acid. This 90% sulfuric acid is sprayed on the top of second absorber. Here, the rate of absorption of sulfur trioxide is adjusted so that 100% of sulfuric acid is obtained at the bottom. So more absorption towers can be used if required. So it is nothing but the absorption unit in which the formation of sulfuric acid it occurs. So we have studied in detail the manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process. So what are the advantages of contact process for the manufacturing of sulfuric acid? Contact process produces highly pure acid of 98 to 100% concentration and various oleums. It requires no further purification and can easily be diluted to any desired concentration. High concentration of sulfuric acid is obtained as compared to all other processes by using contact process. The contact process is widely used process for the manufacturing of sulfuric acid. Contact process is little costly and it requires expert staff to monitor over all the process. Larger amount of sulfuric acid is manufactured by using the contact process. Highly pure acid about 98 to 100% concentration and various oleums can be obtained by using contact process. So, in today's lecture, we have studied the manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process. In next lecture, we will discuss the difference of manufacturing of H2SO4 by lead chamber process and contact process. Also, the physico-chemical principles involved in the manufacturing. Thank you.